What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling Junkies Podcast and Mr. Cincinnati. Podcast Dad is running a little bit late, but he's going to join us probably in about 10 and I think my hand up a little. Loving to see that this is the start that we're having to this episode, but that's okay. As always, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let me get the right QR code up here. Make sure that you're hitting this one in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Help us to run those numbers on our social media platforms. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we need your help to do that. Every little bit helps, so please do us a favor. If you know exactly one person that would enjoy our podcast, just do us a favor and share it with them. We've got two fantastic guests for you here tonight. We've got Three Belts Chris Andino, as well as MKZ and Mackenzie Morgan. We're going to be chopping it up with them in just a little bit. But before I bring our first guest on, make sure that you are following the Main Event Wrestling Network at mainevent_net. We've got blogs, we've got great podcasters, we've got fan art. Probably one of just the coolest wrestling communities that we have had the privilege of being a part of, and we are continually growing. So if you're out there and you love what it is that we're doing at Main Event, shoot us a DM, let's talk, and let's see how we can bring you into the fold. Also, second QR code here, WWE Shop affiliate link. As always, if you need some new WWE merch, hit that QR code. Use our affiliate link. Everything that we earn, we reinvest into the world of professional wrestling through the shows that we sponsor. So every little bit helps. And I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't want some good WWE merch? Make sure that you're supporting our merch store as well. Let me get this caption up for y'all as well. We've got t-shirts, tanks, hoodies, beanies, but not hats. I hate how they look on that site, and quite frankly, with the way that the podcast dad always complains about the fact that we don't have them, who knows if I'll actually get around to making any of them. A couple of shows that we are brought on by SCI Tournament. This all proceeds benefit Sale Creek Middle School. Dog collar match, Sensei Aaron Wade taking on Mad Dog Connolly. God bless and good luck. And we've also got Intergender Bonanza 20. It is the birthday of Stan Styles, and our friend Sammy Chaos is taking on Killdozer Matt Tremont. I don't think Killdozer knows what is coming. This is going to be a hell of a match. Cannot wait to check it out on IWTV. We've also got a cool show that we were told about earlier today, and this is Neo Pro Wrestling Gold Rush in Salem, Ohio. Appearance by Rhino, former WWE star, TNA star. Looks like an incredible card here. This is sponsored in part by our friends at Gorilla Press Apparel. Make sure that you're doing us a favor and giving them a follow. We've got a pretty cool announcement coming up regarding the future of our relationship with Gorilla Press Apparel tomorrow morning, and cannot wait to share that with you guys. But you've heard enough at this right now. A few of us from for SummerSlam that decided to make its way into the stream here, but great time had by all at the Main Event crew. And come on, we're a good looking group of people. Come join in on the fun here. But before we introduce our first guest tonight, once again, thank you to everybody that is watching. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But right now, we are super thrilled to welcome a dynamic force in the world of professional wrestling. Hailing from Brooklyn, Chris Studio Andino has made a name for himself across multiple promotions, holding championships and Summit Wrestling Association, good friends of the show, Fight Club Pro Wrestling, and EWA Maryland. He's fresh off of a match against Miles Millennium at Flying V Fights and a recent panel appearance at BlurredCon 2024. Please welcome Chris Studio Andino to the show. Chris, what's going on, man?
I'm not good at technology, so you'll have to forgive.
And how you doing?
When I tell you this was a struggle just to make this work in front of you,
okay.
I don't even know if my audio's good. Like,
hey, I can see you. Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you. You know what? We chalk it up to one of those days, and
all right.
Is that better?
All right.
Yeah.
I have to use my bedroom. My child has taken over my living room, so yeah. I'm sorry. I don't even have a nice background like you, so we just
Hey, you know what? That's quite all right. I'm glad that we were finally able to get a chance to sit down. I mean, it's not every day that we've got a guy called Chris Three Belts Andino on our show. So it's. I mean, this is a true privilege for us as well. So, podcast dad will be popping in eventually. He's got 2-year-old twins right now, and he's having a day today from what he's told me.
Dad is a great name. See, I got the Papa Bear hat going. So
I like it.
Podcast Dad. Dang. I gotta get a dad name. Like whenever I do like shows like locally, I have my daughter. So like I've definitely been at shows where I'm being dad and 3-belt Dino, as you put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can only imagine podcast dad's hardships. I already feel for the guy. Like I already feel connected to him as a man.
Well, yeah, no, I definitely cannot wait for him to pop in and to chop it up with you a little bit. We're going to come back to juggling fatherhood and career in a little bit. But for those that are not familiar with you, here at the Wrestling Junkies, we look at professional wrestling. Superheroes, supervillains, they clash. The one thing they have in common is that they all have origin stories. So, Chris, if you could, just tell us about some of your earliest memories of pro wrestling.
Oh, man, that's a great question. I'm getting the belts for you too, because I feel like, people like the visuals of them. I'll multitask since I'm so used to having to do that. So I was a boy in the Dominican Republic, being with his grandmother, and his daddy in New York was sending him comic books and PWI magazines for English literature, because my grandma does not speak any English. So it was like, hey, he needs to learn English somehow, because the plan is obviously to bring him back. So, et cetera, et cetera. So I got into wrestling by reading magazines about the 80s. Mm-hmm. And because I had no concept of time, I thought that those were current events. And there was a channel that my grandmother had. I think it was pirated. Don't know. That it had dated lucha, like 1050. So I was watching 80s lucha, like into the early 90s lucha.
Yeah.
And dated NWA territory stuff. So by the time I came to the States in Brooklyn, I was fixated on ECW because it was the only place that had people I recognized, because ECW had like Eddie and Dean and Jericho, So these are the guys I recognize because I'm watching dated wrestling. But for some reason they time warped and are like 5, 6, 7 years older than the pictures and the videos that I saw, not realizing that, nah, bro, you didn't check the date. So then obviously that transformed into me being a WCW guy. But fast forward, there's a lack of wrestling as far as like people that looked like me. And I don't just mean being black. I'm black and Hispanic. So it's either I had a black guy or I had a white passing Hispanic guy. Never saw a guy who was both. Yeah. And then Carlito. So then Carlito, around when he beat John Cena, it was either 04 or 03. Mm-hmm. When I saw that, that's when I was like, oh, we're allowed to do this too. So then that's when I told my dad, I'm going to do this. And he was just like, all right, your mom's going to hate it, but I mean, I'm with you. So yeah, I got older and stuck to it, I guess. So yeah.
I like it. And especially looking at, this is 2004 when Carlito makes his debut. I mean, he beat John Cena. I think both of his first Intercontinental and U.S. titles, but won both of those on his first night on each show that he had been drafted to, as far as SmackDown and Raw taking.
Yeah, on Raw. I remember. Carlito
and here we are now.
Carlito's huge to me, man. Like, honestly, that whole 2003 to 2005 Raw SmackDown mid card of like the Sheltons and of the world. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay.
Gotcha. Here we go. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what was lost, but I'll just reiterate just in case.
Sure.
That 2003 to 2005 mid-card roster that were like battling between the IC and the US title, those are my guys. Like the Matt Hardys, the MVPs, the Carlitos, the Shelton Benjamins, the Chris Jerichos, like those guys in that time, in that pocket, they had me. Like the main events and all that were cool, but like when those guys came on, you could ask my dad. He had me from in front. Guys were on when I cared. I cared a lot.
Sure.
So,
sure. Yeah. No, that's incredible. And here we are all of these years later, and you are living your dream here. And man, I mean, you're having a hell of a run right now. I mean, you're holding 3 championships right now. I think for EWA Maryland, Summit Wrestling, you've got one of their championships, as well as Fight Club Pro Wrestling. Ooh, that's a good looking belt.
I got that one right there.
There it is.
I don't know where my girl Chocolati is. I might have to ask my wife.
So, all right, I have to ask about that particular championship, the Chocolate City Championship with Fight Club Pro Wrestling. What can you tell us about the origins of the name of this championship?
Let me get her. Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry. I need my other belt bag. Sorry.
Take your time.
No, I was apologizing to my wife. I'm interrupting her baby time. I ain't scared of you, man. I'm scared of her.
That's fair.
Listen, everybody else, y'all cool, man, but when she ain't happy, that's when I'm afraid. Here we go. Here she is. All right, this girl. Every time we're like in current events about whichever belt, that's the one I'll throw over the shoulder. There we go. Okay, so this one, this championship was created for a company called Fight Club Pro. The company that wasn't supposed to be, as they like to call themselves, and then the letters on the top, the PAWDWC. It's an organization put together that created the Pan-African World Diaspora Wrestling Championship, and the purpose was for, if they're going to make it so hard for us to be world champion, we'll just make our own world title, was the idea. A traveling championship for Black people to flourish and be their best selves and compete for. And then during an amazing championship run by Trish Adora, that championship was acknowledged and solidified as an official world title. In the middle of that happening, the same people that own that company, their second, not secondary, but their second mission, their 1A mission, so to speak, was to bring more wrestling to the DMV, because of the Maryland and DC Athletic Commission, it is extremely hard to run wrestling in Maryland or especially in DC. There are no home promotions for DC, not that run legally.
Gotcha.
Except for us.
Okay.
And so the big thing was, we need to bring it to DC, the OG Chocolate City, because these people deserve it too.
Yeah.
And also those people, because of them showing up for us, because of them paying for the tickets, because of them hitting retweet, all those things were the reason why the Pan-African World Diaspora Wrestling Championship was able to be acknowledged as a world title. So we decided to make a title for, I always say we, even though I had no part in it, but I just feel like I'm in the we because I was there from day zero.
Sure.
So when I talk about fight, I feel like it's we, because I'm on a small group of people that say I've been there since before it was cool. Everyone else started showing up when it got cool. Which no knock to them, because hey, it's a business, but whatever. But so then this championship came in, and the inaugural champion was Billy Dixon. And I wasn't even supposed to be in this title picture. If you go back and watch the early shows, the audience kind of, in a way, picked me. Mm-hmm. And I got put in position. I did my job. I just I just showed up, did my job, kept having good ass match after good ass match.
Yeah.
You know, was just did what I had to do. Won this thing called a wild card. It's like a Money in the Bank, but it's way less like specific. It's just you can have any match at any time with anybody. That's what the wild card does. So if I decide I wanted to wrestle the ref, I can use my wild card and wrestle the ref.
Okay.
I used it for the Chocolate City Championship, which came to a lot of people's surprise because they were like, "Why didn't you go for the Pan African World Diaspora Wrestling Championship?" But I wanted this one. I wanted this one because my mantra is the best wrestlers come from, are from, or they make sure to make their way through the DMV. So in my mind, if you're the champ at the best place, are you not the man?
Sound logic.
So, you know, I feel like, you know, respect to the big green, but I feel like I'm the world champ. So
I like it.
And for 800 plus days, I'm the man.
Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. You're also the SWA Crown Champion, and they've got That's just it's such a good looking belt, man. Shout out to Summit. Yeah, they love their.
They renamed it the Crown Championship, and I like that.
Yeah. No, there's a regality that comes to it that is super clutch. Yeah, and
I'm supposed to like start dressing in suits with this one. She's nice.
You know, it's. I think that that with a nice gray suit, nice blue suit.
Right.
Yeah. No,
right?
that's
might have to start dressing like one of them Democratic dudes trying to get a man. I might have to start. I don't know, man. I might have to call Big Cody. I might need a suit guy. I don't know. She's a beauty. Look at the way she look at the sun off her. Man, don't look too hard. You might need sunglasses.
I think it's a gorgeous belt. It is hands down a gorgeous belt. And SW, they've got an event coming up. Yeah. One More Mountain to Climb, August 17th, I believe it is. Tell us a little bit about this show. What can fans expect?
It's an exciting card already, and they're not even done telling you all the matches. So that just goes to show you right there. There are going to be a collection of people competing for a shot at my new girl. And, you know, it's really just what you're going to witness. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be some great wrestling. I'm going to be there. That's your ticket seller right there. So, you know, I could easily just go, I'll be there, cut, ticket sold, right? But I want to be fair to the roster because I'm somewhat of a locker room leader. So I want to, I gotta do my job. And, we have a great roster. We have great tag teams like Pure Ignorance, Riot City, great singles guys as well. TJ Sykes, the Red Sire, love that guy. Common MK, the Mid-Atlantic champion, he beat me clean. Respect, I beat him 3 times, but who cares? He beat me clean. Gotta give him love where he deserves it, Goku, I don't know if he's a Pokemon or if he's Goku with a mask or if he's a Power Ranger, but hey, respect to those guys that, do the cosplays and stuff like that. That sounds like a hard job. Sounds expensive. Props to you guys. I like when my wife plays dress up, but I mean, we play it different. But no, so, great roster of guys, great group of people, a lot of entertainers, some great wrestlers. My guy, Mr. Amazing, will be there. The next women's champion at SWA.
Yes.
I could be saying the name of the title wrong, and I'm so sorry. It's a new belt, so let me get used to it. But, the 4 women that will be competing for that championship will be having a teaser match first. They will be having a tag team match before they go on to compete for the championship at a later date. So you will be getting basically a preview, which is so exciting. It's like preseason football. It's like, yay, football's back, Yeah. You got to love it. Our girl Taylor Brooks is going to win. Spoiler. But, hey, go see the other girls, too. They'll be there. The women. and the legend King Kalua will be present. You know, the ageless one, the guy who gets more girls than Ric Flair, and he does it consensually. That's important.
That is important. That is important.
You know, myself and Tavon will be in the main event, 6-man tag. It's the legend, the champ, and the future versus Riot City Most Wanted and Jesse Orion. You know, the little Irish boy who can't get a tan to save his life, but he's there. It'll be nice. You know, he'll be present. So yeah, it's melanin versus felinins. So it's gonna be great. Good entertainment. Bring the kids. It'll be on a Saturday, so they can afford to stay up, you know, but still do your homework, kids. That's important. You know, Riot City clearly didn't get an education. But, you know, we're going to give you some good old-fashioned Pennsylvania wrestling.
I love it. Love it. And I can't wait to check this out. These shows usually end up on YouTube a week or two after they air. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. Shout out to them and their production team for sure. As we kind of, you know, wrap up here and move towards the end, you know, outside of one more mountain to climb, where can everybody find you on social media? What's next for Chris Andino as far as the rest of the summer?
All of my socials, because I'm intelligent, are studio_Andino, because people think having different ats on different apps will make it easy for them to be reached. But, you know, that's their business. Sometimes somebody just stole your at. So if that's what happened to you, it's not your fault. Yeah. But, you know, us intelligent folk, we have the same ats. But yeah, studio_Andino on everything. All of my merch is on foryourwear.com. Once again, another thing I was on before it got cool. You can find me predominantly at Fight, because that is my home. I will be at Fight until someone with a large nose gives me a contract. But until then, I will be at Fight. I'll be at other places as well, but the most guaranteed place you will see me is at the Capital Region, the best place ever.
I like that.
Because I'm there. You know, the leader of the Capital Region, the world champion, Chris Andino, me. You know, they call me Studio because, you know, I'll be talking. But, you know, you could catch me up EWA Maryland. I'll be there this Saturday defending my championship against Lil Stellman. You know, he's going to give it the old college try. I'm double shotting that day, so I will be in the evening. I will be at EWA, and then by the nightfall, I will be at Voltage in Pennsylvania. I if you couldn't tell, I like to do the Mid-Atlantic scene. I don't like the Northeast because it's a bit of a boys and girls club, and I don't like their women. But hey, the South is calling, and I'm answering. That'll be a later date. I don't want to reveal things.
Okay.
And the Midwest is knocking again, and I might answer that door. I might not. It stinks over there. No offense. You know, I see the Bengals over there.
Okay.
Nothing personal.
Let's just leave them out of it.
No.
Just leave them out of it. Yeah.
Look. My football team used to be great. They're gonna suck for a few years, and I have to accept that. So I'm not talking no trash football wise whatsoever. Okay. So trust me, I don't want to talk football because it's just gonna be a lot of me talking yesteryear. And no, it's not because I'm a Cowboys fan.
That's okay. Podcast Dad's an Eagles fan, so he showed up just in time.
What?
Just in time.
Yeah. No, I mean then he understands what I'm talking about as well. You know, being a fan of a team that like has been good, and then like, you know,
hey, we have company. Don't do that.
It just happens. You know, all great teams at some point go through a pocket of space where they're not that good. In all sports, it happens. My team currently is in that position. The Eagles are probably getting out of that position sooner than my team. You guys are definitely getting out of that position before my team. So
the AFC North can be a dogfight this year.
Yeah, so
shut up. Nobody's talking about the Bengals. Shut up.
Look.
We were talking about it before you interrupted.
You guys listen. You guys enjoy football season. I'm just going to enjoy football. My team.
Fair.
I might become a fantasy guy this year because.
You should.
So, for reference, I'm a Patriots fan. They're going to suck.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
We don't gotta. They're gonna suck. You know.
Yeah.
You know they're in that stage of the post Kobe Lakers.
Yeah.
So
quarterback of the future. Quarterback of the future. That's
the long distant future.
It's okay.
I think we're gonna suck for the next 5 to 6. Me personally. But.
Hopefully not. But
you had a dynasty. Relax.
Podcast.
Yeah, that's why I gotta shut up. We had it long enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, I came in late. I apologize. Don't have
all
kids.
good, man.
It's okay. It's one, hello, great to see you, and two, you were just in time to ask Chris the most important question of this interview.
Oh, was I?
Yeah, you were just in time.
So, when we think or when we say Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels or The Undertaker, no pressure.
Oh. Do we measure it by quantity or quality?
That's up to you, buddy.
Yeah, that's however you want.
I have to give it to The Undertaker.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna say why.
Please do. Yeah.
Because I'm glad my father isn't present, because even though I'm a grown man, he would still come upside my head hearing me say this. But in all fairness, there was a period of time where the streak was presented like another world title match.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels coined himself Mr. WrestleMania. Undertaker felt like, oh, it's the Undertaker match. Like, you remember there was a time where it was, what are the 2 world title matches and who's wrestling the Undertaker? Like,
that's a good point.
You gotta give him that, you know. And also on a separate note, there's a period of time where, because of injury and reasons, Shawn Michaels wasn't present. The longevity of the Undertaker at WrestleMania is literally, it stands alone. If you ask any performer ever in professional wrestling, and I told them, hey, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 bad WrestleMania matches, you get to be at WrestleMania that many times, and they're all going to be important. Would you be the Undertaker for that? All of them are going to say yes. All of them. Yes. Or, hey, you get, 7 or 9 really good Shawn Michaels matches, or do you want 20-plus Undertaker WrestleMania matches? They're all picking the 20-plus, dude. Like, I promise you.
Good point.
So, yeah, and also probably the check that came with those 20-plus matches. I'm a father. You understand me, podcast dad. The money that he got, I'm sure. I mean,
wasn't bad.
He has bikes on top of bikes, and them bikes ain't cheap. And he's got some massive house in Texas that no one knows what it looks like beyond whatever he allows them to see.
Yep. Oh.
Give me the big Texas house with the 19 Harleys in the back all day.
That's fair.
Straight up and down. Wow. But match quality, it's Shawn. But
okay, well, you don't have to say that. It's okay.
No, it's just the spade is a spade, you know?
It's okay. It's all right.
I hope neither guy sees this and gets upset at the end.
I hope one of those 2 guys see this. I mean,
if I had either of their careers, I'd die happy.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck this weekend and beyond this summer. Our door's always open, so we'd absolutely love to have you come back on again. And who knows? Hopefully there will be 4 belts next time.
Well, I mean, real quick, if you want, I mean, I stole the original, so I mean, this is the original belt that was presented during the tournament, and I stole it. They're still mad about it, but I mean, no one has stepped up to do anything about it. Podcast Dad, you weren't here, so you deserve to get to see all the pretty belts too. This is my crown. Okay. She's a new one. This is my newly minted Maryland title because the older one was not fit for me.
It's a good one.
Literally, it was small, and I'm a large man, deceptively. And this is old reliable right here. It's my girl. That's a good one.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
those are all good.
Yeah.
Those are all really good.
So yeah, these are my babes. I sleep with them every night, despite my wife's best wishes. And yeah.
I would do the same thing.
Love it. Chris, thank you once again. Hope to have you back on before the year is out. Good luck with everything. Keep kicking ass and taking names.
Thank you so much for having me. Podcast Dad, good luck with the children.
Yes. Thank you. Same.
To have it great.
No, you don't.
All right, look, have a good one.
See ya.
You too. Take care. Thanks again to Chris and Dina for joining us, and thank you to everybody that is watching us tonight. I know that there have been some issues with connectivity and things like that, but we are pressing through as best we can. Podcast Dad, great to see you. I know that it's been a day for you. It's been a day for me. So Hans, let's talk some wrestling. Let's relax a little bit, and I think it's time for our next guest. I think it's time to bring her in. This is probably one of the most unique stories, I think, of how somebody has ended up on our show for sure. We had the pleasure of meeting our next guest, Mackenzie Morgan, at Scenic City Invitational this year. Made quite the impression on the Wrestling Junkies as she stole the podcast dad's bottle of water, needed to hydrate mid-match.
Didn't
and
steal. I offered.
I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just, okay, she borrowed the water. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But she's not only a self-professed air guitar specialist, but she's a hell of a competitor in the ring. She is the reigning defending Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion and made waves when she wrestled in Ring of Honor this year against the one and only Queen Aminata. Let's dive into her journey, bring her on the show, the real MKZ, Mackenzie Morgan. Mackenzie, how's it going?
Are we live?
We are live.
Wow. How are y'all?
Good. How
Fantastic.
are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm just out here watching some birds, and it's not too cold, but the bugs are trying to bite me. But it's okay. I've just got that good blood, so it doesn't matter.
Good. Any fun birds that we've seen yet?
I just saw the bird that tweets, and then I guess it's red. It's like a red bird or like a robin or something. I think that's good luck. So I saw it, and y'all saw a red bird too. So all of us has good luck this week.
I like it.
I need it.
I like it.
Right.
Facts. Well, Mackenzie, let's dive right on in. We met you for the first time at SCI a couple of weeks back. Tell us about your experience with that weekend. Again, we mentioned the spot where you need to hydrate. Podcast Dad had a bottle of water. Let's talk about that moment. Let's talk about the weekend as a whole.
It was a great weekend. We had TWE. I got proposed to by Love Doug. I'm just saying, I don't know. Wow. I'm a married woman. Y'all can come to the wedding. Wrestling weddings never really work out for the better, but this one will, because love always wins. And then we had the what was that, Thursday, and then Friday we had the show, right? No, not our show, but the tournament. Yeah. And that was awesome. Let me tell you something. I watch wrestling and I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. Like, I want to do that. And then it's like, oh yeah, I am a wrestler. And those people there, it was just like a locker room of just talented people. And then the next day I had a show, the Triple Threat with Casey Owen and Jameson. And well, I didn't win, but I did get hydrated during the match because of you, the podcast dad.
Gotta stay hydrated.
So yeah, it was one heck of a show. Adam Priest won. The whole. He did. So I was going for him to the bitter end, and then he hit Manders with the trophy. So I don't know. He did. But it was really good. It was good.
Awesome. Happy to hear that. Let's go a little bit further back. How did you get into wrestling, and what are your earliest memories of that?
I got into wrestling. Man, I feel like the story always changes because I don't know. Like, I'll watch something and be like, oh yeah, I remember this. But I think I always say it was the Muppets that came on. And the Muppets were on Raw.
Okay.
But I do remember some stuff before because I remember watching Undertaker roll his eyes to the back of his head and I was scared, spooked out. I don't like to watch him at night still to this day, but whatever. I'm just a scaredy cat. But yeah, I would just watch wrestling, and then I remember I would go on the bus to school, and I would talk to this guy Avery, and I was like, Avery, like, did you watch Monday Night Raw? Avery, did you watch SmackDown? And we would just talk about it and talk, and I don't know, like wrestling has always been with me. It's been that one constant, you know, because you know things come and go in life. We all change, but wrestling has always been there. I would watch. What it was like? Y'all remember DVD players? Like,
yes.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're old.
Like the 50 greatest matches of all time or something. I watched that on a repeat when I was younger, but I also had a cardboard cutout of Randy Orton. I don't know where that went, but I want one. So if y'all want to get me one, okay, I don't mind. But he was like close like this, you know, with his tattoos.
yeah.
I would be in bed when I would go to school, so he was well kept.
I don't know. Your turn.
Yeah. Well, Mackenzie, I think it'll be October that you're celebrating 2 years in wrestling. You have some moments that you really, you know, that stood out to you as far as meeting Kylie Rae, and I think we talked a little bit about that when we were in Tennessee. You're also the reigning defending Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion, among just a number of other things. So, you know, take us through this journey and kind of what stands out about not only meeting somebody that you idolize so much in Kylie Rae, but you know, representing the women's division for Memphis.
Well, let's talk about Kylie Rae. She's a mom. Congratulations. I will sing her praises to the bitter end. She's so good in the ring. Oh my God. I don't remember the very first match, but I remember I was in school and I'd have my phone out and I would just watch Kylie Rae matches. And she's like just the greatest of all time. And it just so happened that I was in Chicago for a couple of days. And then I was like, well, I mean, since I'm here, I'm not just like going to waste anything. I'll go to freelance. And so I trained for 2 days, and it was on a Tuesday. And I met Kylie Rae. Let me tell you something.
That's awesome.
She's been my idol for like such a long time, and I walked in and I saw her and I started crying, and I was like, oh my God, I can't cry. Like, this is so embarrassing. Because you know your coaches are like, be professional, but let me tell you, I was bawling. And then so I took a deep breath, and then, you know, I was like, yeah. And then when I left, after training there, I cried again. I was like, holy crap, like, I met Kylie Rae. Like, she's like my top 3 favorites in the entire world. I hate like seeing like negative comments about her on social media because like it's like, hey, you know, come to Memphis, Tennessee, and let's duke it up. Don't play with my girl. But yeah, she's super cool. And being the Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion, it's pretty cool, you know. I am from Memphis. I did not know I was going to train in Memphis until Memphis Wrestling came up. So thank you to those who kind of built Memphis Wrestling from the ground up. I always looked at Reality of Wrestling to go train at. Because when I was in school, I was like, yeah, like Reality, because that's where I found Kylie too, Reality of Wrestling. And I was like, man, this is the place to be. But the place that I went to was Memphis Wrestling. So I think it's pretty cool that I'm the champion there. I am creeping up 1 year. That's right. September 1st. That's right. Undefeated. I think. I don't know.
We'll say you are.
Yeah. I'm just having a really good time meeting a lot of people, shaking a lot of hands. That's exposure therapy for me. I actually don't like to touch people, but here I am, a wrestler, grinding up on people to win a match. So I don't know. But.
That's fair. So, obviously, the way we interacted was you needed some water, and I gave you that water. Is there any other, besides the best moment that you've ever had with a fan, with the podcast dad, but is there any other memorable moments with a fan that you can think of?
Can it be somebody I know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I got one. I got a couple of them. Okay, I got a few of them, so just bear with me. But my very first match, I have a friend. She was actually my 10th grade geometry teacher, but man, that's my homie now. And when I was in school, I would beg her, like you have to be a wrestler. Like, we can be a tag team. She probably got tired of it, but I invited her to my first match, and she came, and I thought that was one of the coolest things. She got to see me, and she still is, like, watching me follow my dreams, but, her being my very first match, I'm getting emotional. Thank God I have these shades on. But her seeing my first match, it meant a lot. My mom can't watch me wrestle live because she's a mama bear, so
yeah.
She will watch it on videos. And then my dad came to, it was one of my first couple of matches. It was in front of the FedEx Forum. I wrestled
Nice.
in a tag match with Nix. It was me and Nix versus Heather Monroe and DDT. And I heard him. I said, is that my dad? And that was him. And so I was like, wow. And then I was like, man, I hope I don't slip or anything, because I always get nervous. Like when I see somebody I know. And then my first grade teacher started to come to the Memphis shows, and everybody in the back loves her, man. I mean, do you know those old school fans, those old school, man, that she's one heck of a fan. So those are really the first, those are more personal, I would say, because I've known them for a long time.
Sure.
But yeah, that's
Love
it.
that. Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool. I mean, especially getting to wrestle in front of your dad, teachers, and people that have probably seen you on this trajectory of wanting to do this. To have them in your corner, that's so awesome. That's awesome, and I'm sure that is a once in a lifetime moment. I mean, not everybody has the opportunity to wrestle in front of loved ones the way that they probably wish that they should or would.
Yeah, it's cool. I've talked about it growing up all the time. I want to be a wrestler. I'm going to be a wrestler. Hey, guys, watch this. I'm going to be a wrestler. Everyone's like, wah, 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 wah. And then you actually go do it, and they're like, wow. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what? And I'm like, mm-hmm. So that's kind of how, my story is. I don't have it on right now. Gosh. I have a guitar pick necklace, right? I love guitar, yep. And I have my mom's initials, my dad's initials, my sister's initials, and Miss Jordan's initials on there, because those are my people. Miss Jordan was my 10th geometry teacher, but if I ever win the lottery or whatever, I dedicate everything to them. I think about them before any of my matches. I'm like, hey guys, y'all are still on this earth, and I know we're all talking. I'll probably be in where was I at? Nashville, and I was just talking to them in my head, like, hey guys, I'm just doing this for y'all. I'll just talk to them, but I don't think they know that unless they listen to this. But yeah,
which they should.
Yeah. No, make sure to share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Chris, hit them with that magic number.
One.
Just one.
You just gotta tell. You guys gotta tell one person. That's all you gotta do. Just tell one person.
Yeah. Tell a friend.
That
used to be one of the things you could.
One.
Yeah, it's a lifeline. It's like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Just phone a friend.
That's right.
Yeah. But Mackenzie, you've already brought it up. Love the air guitar. What's your go-to song?
Oh boy. Oh man, there's just a lot of songs I like. Right now, it's King for a Day by Pierce the Veil. You told me think about it. Well, it's like, gosh, I love the air guitar. Y'all want to start?
I can
air drum a little bit. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, the podcast dad is into metal. I can give you some suggestions.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
It is. Just listen to Metallica. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
From Whom the Bell Tolls. That'll be your next favorite song. Promise you.
I'll listen to it tonight.
So Mackenzie, we got to hear.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, don't you interrupt me. We do have to hear. I don't know. What were you gonna say? Go ahead. you had a good question.
So we mentioned it off rip. This summer, you got to work Ring of Honor, and you shared the ring with Queen Aminata. I mean, that from what I saw of that match, very, very physical. I believe you tweeted your shoe tastes weird or something along those lines. So tell us about working with, I mean, she's probably one of the best in wrestling right now. How did this match come about? Tell us about this experience, sharing the ring with a legend in the making.
Wow, yeah. Okay. I just was told in the back, I was like, they were like, all right, you're going to wrestle her, you're going to wrestle her, you're going to wrestle her. Okay. Put my stuff on, and I got in the ring. Well, I got kicked in the face. That size 9 boot, just right. Ooh-wee. But I tell you what, that girl is hard, but it's okay because I only got tougher from that. She's somebody that I've watched, I'd say for a long time, yeah. I would, like, you know what Instagram Reels are and everything, like the short clips. It would be clips of her, like, just kicking somebody, hitting somebody. I'm like, wow, like, she's like, I don't want to be in the ring with her. And then when they said, all right, Mackenzie, you're going to wrestle Queen Aminata. All right. I got kicked, and I was like, wow, she doesn't play around. I wouldn't want to piss her off. So that was it was quite the experience. I watched her versus Athena when they wrestled, and that was one heck of a match. She's tough. She's really tough. Like, how do they say tougher than a $2 steak? But she's tougher than a $2 steak, but she doesn't look like one. She looks great. Fabulous. I mean, she's like all around just amazing, you know. She's everything. She's awesome.
Yeah, facts. No, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. All right, now it's that time. We have to ask you the hardest question ever.
What? So
when you think Mr. WrestleMania, is it Shawn Michaels or The Undertaker?
Well,
I'm the right answer.
Shawn Michaels, because
That's the wrong answer.
I'm scared of Undertaker. So,
one man's opinion.
So I would say Shawn Michaels. On my Pinterest board, there's like a lot of pictures of him because I love his style. He's fashionista.
I like it.
I don't think. I mean, Undertaker's like a legend and everything too, but like, I told this to one of my friends, and he was like, "We're gonna watch a casket match from Undertaker," and I'm like, "No, like I'm not." Let me tell you something. This mind of mine has not developed at all since being younger. I don't like to watch him, and then you expect me to turn the lights off and go to sleep. Like, all he's gonna do is like right here. It's like, I'm not doing that. So if I don't have to watch an Undertaker, and this is like not a knock on him, like he's great. Yeah, I've watched his matches, but man, like if I don't have to, like I'm gonna save myself the nightmare. He's scary, especially like when he had like his eyes look tired and everything.
Oh yeah, the very right? Yeah, very
it's
dead man gimmick looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loving just the variation of answers we get to this question now. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. You're the first person to say you were scared of The Undertaker. That's why you picked Shawn Michaels.
No.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute pleasure, and we know that it won't be the last time that you're on the show. But before we let you go, where can everybody find you on social media, and what do you have coming up this summer that everybody can get excited about?
Okay, so y'all can look at my social medias. You can follow me if you want to. I would like that, but you can look, but you can't touch. They're all real MKZ Morgan on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Facebook is just Mackenzie Morgan. And what I have coming up, I've got a lot of big things coming up. I've got a couple of Memphis shows that I'm going to do. Just announced I've got to go against Finesse, Damon Stryker,
Nice.
and Anakin Murphy. September 7th, the battle at
Sail Creek.
Yeah. So I don't know who's like signing these contracts, making the matches happen, but like first I had to go against Jameson, who I really like, and now I've got to go against my bestie Finesse. Like they so fake for doing that. But
That's super casual, Scott.
Yeah, I'll be in Chicago or Round Lake Park for Third Coast Wrestling. And then just announced as well, I'll be at NGW in Knoxville, Tennessee. I love that place so much. It makes me feel like a cowgirl, but I think they're in the mountains too. So like, I'm also like a mountain woman. One thing about me is I can adapt to whatever. So I can be a city girl too, believe it or not. But I've got a lot of cool things coming up. So yeah, just follow my social medias. You can tag me in memes too. I like to laugh a lot. I like to have fun.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
So that's where I'm at on social media. Real MKZ Morgan.
Awesome. Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we can't wait to have you back on. Give him hell the rest of the summer, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thanks for the water, guys. I love y'all.
You're welcome.
Stay hydrated.
Oh yeah.
See ya. Thank you once again to our guests, Chris Andino and Mackenzie Morgan, for joining us tonight.
And
Absolutely
me.
wonderful conversations. Well,
I'm kind of a guest tonight. Sorry about that.
yeah. No, it's fine. Hey, we got the match.
You'll be there one day.
Would you not? Would you stop doing that?
House.
Like, would you stop?
That's how
would you
it
stop?
starts.
Would you stop? Okay. Okay.
It's time to go home.
It is not time to go home yet. I know that this episode's getting long in the tooth, but to be fair, I've been on for 52 minutes. You haven't. We have a lot to talk about from last night. Okay, Heath, your point.
Don't you call me Heath.
What's wrong with that?
You haven't earned it yet. Let's talk about Wes Lee.
That's
oh
what
my
I'm
God, I
saying.
did not see that coming.
Because I think that we thought once we heard main event, they got to be winning the tag team titles, because that's the conversation we've been trying to have, is whether TNA talents whether there would be an exchange of championships during this partnership. I thought if there was ever a night, last night was it, and that's why they got the main event. Damn.
That was crazy.
That was.
I like it.
And it was a convincing turn. Yeah.
I like it. Wes Lee needed something, and this is something. Like, this is, he's not going to TNA.
No. Well,
this is, this is legit. Like, this is like we were questioning what's next for Wes Lee. Like,
for a very long time.
What is the next step in this process? And him turning heel was, it was shocking. It was like legit.
It was perfect.
It was like a Mariah May moment. Like, not even that. Like, we knew Mariah May was coming. This one was just like,
this was at. This is up. This is probably one of NXT's best moments of the year. A real OMG, holy cow kind of moment. And we're going to be working on our year-end awards here in the next couple of months. At least that's what I'm going to tell you that we're going to do, just as the reminder that we need to do it.
I'm on it.
But this was just.
It was awesome.
Perfection.
Yeah. No,
Perfection.
It was perfect.
I think the question still is, right now it's still a 2-on-1 disadvantage, and I don't necessarily see Tre Miguel or Zachary Wentz wanting to right away jump into wanting to get their hands on Wes. I can see them trying to, let's just try to work this out. What can we do to try to fix this? Wes is going to rebuff it, but do we see him aligning with anybody else to take these guys on? Because they're both gonna be out for the pound of flesh.
Give him a heavy.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
why not? I don't know who that is at this point, but I'm sure they got somebody down in the performance center that they can debut.
Yeah. Let's not even rule out Obafemi.
No, don't pull Obafemi into that.
I'm just saying, don't rule it out.
I don't want that. Oh, let Obafemi do his thing. He doesn't need to be second fiddle to anybody.
You know who did look a little upset last night as well?
Who was that?
Duke Hudson. Come on. Look. I am willing to die on this hill. I'm willing to die on this hill, and I will continue to say that I'm waiting for that turn. And if Ridge Holland and Andre Chase, this type, you know what? It's the last time I trust you with anything.
I think it's probably since episode 1 that you've wanted this Duke Hudson heel turn.
Yeah.
I wanted Veer to be pushed, and that died. A slow, painful death.
Oh, you gave up, yeah.
Well, he's not there anymore, so yes, I gave up. Have you seen him since? It
might still show up in GCW. You never know. They teased that Bollywood Boys and Jinder, or Raj, teased that it's not just them. So
yeah, okay. Well,
Brett might push for you.
I'll hold my breath. No, I'm not going to do that because I'll pass out. Just like you have been holding your breath for this damn heel turn that's not going to happen. Rich Holland is going to turn.
Whatever.
Sorry.
Whatever.
Oh, the other guy could turn. I can't remember his name at this time, but
Riley Osborne.
He will probably turn before Duke Hudson.
You know what?
Andre Chase will probably turn before Duke Hudson.
You're a poor sport.
I'll probably turn face before Duke Hudson.
You're a poor sport.
I'm not a poor sport. I'm a realist.
Also, you said nothing about my new shirt. And you noticed everything.
Look, you said his name. He appeared. I am one of those guys, and I think you are as well, that just is not excited about Gallus.
It's fine. I mean, it's fine. They have a place on the roster for when they need tag teams, and they're they just do. And besides, they got The Rock ready for WrestleMania. Okay, like that gets you some favor for at least a little bit longer. Just
please, dear God, give me Joe Hendry in the Rumble, because I want to be there for that.
So I wanted to, and this is what I wanted to ask you about. I think it was Cultaholic that I watched this morning, and I didn't know this until I said this today, but apparently Joe Hendry basically has carte blanche to go to PC whenever he wants to train there. He's got the green light from TNA, basically to spend all of his time down there if he wants. I mean, this is basically, and this is unprecedented. This is a job in waiting for a viral social media sensation.
Yeah, no, I read that as well, that he can just, I mean, it's so unique with his deal with TNA and WWE that, yeah, he can go down to the PC, do what he wants. I mean, you would have to think TNA's going, he's probably going to get signed when the contract is up, so we might as well not piss him off while he's here, kind of thing, and just like roll with it. Again, you have a very viral wrestler right now that is under the TNA brand. Use it to your advantage. Like which is why I think they should have put the world title on him, but maybe they're thinking a little bit forward of going, he's not going to be here that much longer anyway, so it kind of balances out. But again, don't piss off the golden goose. Because right now you have lightning in a bottle, and he's on your television representing TNA, and TNA is being mentioned like crazy. Keep that going.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with the announcement that the first two shows once they move to CW, Chicago and St. Louis, will be in arenas, appearances by CM Punk, Randy Orton. Like, there is exposure here.
Yeah, he's gonna rub elbows. Like Joe Hendry's gonna rub elbows with Punk and Randy Orton. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen.
For sure. So. And this is all off of an appearance in a battle royal that he was the first one eliminated, but we've not seen really any of those other guys since that battle royal. So
they're very smart with that.
They absolutely were. I think the only other thing that we want to talk about before we go home here is Ethan Page defending successfully against Oro Mensah.
Look good.
He alludes to at the end of it, just looks right into the camera, doesn't really care who is next. He just wants some competition. There's some rumblings that it might be Josh Alexander.
I mean, that would be a tag team. They were a tag team in TNA. What was it? The Great North or something? I can't remember their name, but
I think that was it. Yeah.
I mean, there's unfinished business there. They have a history that would be a lot of fun. But Oro Mensah showed out, man.
Yeah.
Like he looked really good.
Yeah.
Like that whatever the hell he did in the corner, that backflip kick that he did, that was amazing, dude. I've never seen anything like that. So yeah, Ethan Page is the champion, and Ethan Page is kind of the guy at the moment. No, you're here. You're here.
Okay, cool.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think Ethan Page is the guy at the moment, but I think Oro Mensah did a very good job in his opportunity and made the most of his minutes. So I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, especially because I don't think he was the original member of Metaphor that was in mind for this. Noam Dar dealing with the injury, and they kind of pivoted, which it worked. And this is kind of what we need to see from NXT right now is a variety of new challengers, just because there was that bottleneck for so long that had Braun, Ilya, Trick, Mello. Like it now. I feels like all of that has finally cleared, and we're going to start to see some fresh faces and some new surprises here. But a very, very strong episode of NXT Great American Bash. AEW Dynamite tonight. Podcast Dad will not be here tomorrow, so we're gonna have to wait till next week and do a little bit of a deep dive into the world of AEW, because Wembley's only 18 days away.
That's crazy,
right?
That's actually crazy. We're in for. I think we're gonna be in for a hell of a show. I think.
Wait, is Bash in Berlin the same weekend?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's the weekend after.
Okay. I was gonna say it's a lot of grabs.
That they would be in the same country too, or continent.
Yeah, there you go.
Not country, but
yeah.
Sorry, I'm tired.
No, I know. I'm not knocking it. I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat dinner. Like that's what I'm gonna do.
What's for dinner?
I'm probably gonna walk up to the E.
Of course you are.
Yeah. What?
I didn't say that.
Sorry, I want to get a little fresh air, a little exercise, maybe a Tom Collins or two.
Yes, I know that you are now classy. Thank you.
Right. Any of that? I didn't hear any of that. But yeah, okay.
You heard thank you MJB, didn't you?
I heard classy and then thank you MJB. That's what I heard.
And that's all you need to know. All right, folks, I gotta go take care of my kids now because it's bedtime.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. As always, thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember, like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do us a huge favor. Every little bit helps. Tomorrow night, who do we have as far as guests? We have got Rob Killjoy and Joe Ocasio joining me. Podcast Dad will be unavailable. That's okay. Do your thing. Enjoy your concert. We'll so what am I gonna do? 5 days without talking to you on camera again? Weird. But okay. I think I'll survive. I'll survive. I don't even. I'm a big boy. I didn't even bring in a co-host this time. Okay, it's
4 days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
See, you're
Thank
fine.
you.
We've done that before. It's okay, buddy.
God, okay. It really is time for us to get the hell out of here. Thank you guys so much. Remember, special announcement dropping tomorrow. Cannot wait to share this with you guys. Yeah. Of the people that are watching right now, they could probably use some apparel. Yeah. So.
Yes, they can.
Yeah. So, that's going to do it for us. Hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. For the podcast dad, for Chris Andino, for Mackenzie Morgan, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been a special episode of the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. See you tomorrow.